Imagine an invention so revolutionary, it saved millions of lives. Hospitals depended on it, doctors praised it, families owed everything to it. And then, it vanished. Not because it stopped working, not because something better came along, but because the world simply moved on. Today, we're exploring inventions that changed everything. Devices that rescued people from the brink of death, transformed entire industries, and shaped modern life, then disappeared without a trace. Some you've heard of, others you won't believe existed at all. Medical marvels. Let's start with the inventions that saved lives in the most literal way. Medical breakthroughs that kept people breathing, walking, and living. The iron lung. Picture a large metal cylinder, the size of a coffin, with only a person's head visible outside. This was the iron lung, and for decades, it was the only thing standing between polio patients and death. In the 1920s through 1950s, polio epidemics paralyzed thousands of children every year. When the virus attacked the muscles used for breathing, victims would suffocate within hours. The iron lung created negative pressure around the chest, forcing lungs to expand and contract. It literally breathed for people who couldn't breathe for themselves. At its peak, hospitals had entire wards filled with rows of iron lungs. Dozens of patients, their heads protruding from these mechanical chambers, kept alive by the rhythmic hiss of the machines. Then came the polio vaccine in 1955. Within a decade, polio was nearly eradicated in developed countries. Modern ventilators replaced the iron lung. By the 2000s, only a handful of patients worldwide still used them. The invention that saved tens of thousands simply became obsolete.
Radium water bottles. Now here's one that sounds insane today. Radium water bottles. In the 1920s and 30s, radioactive products were marketed as miracle cures. Doctors prescribed radium water for everything: fatigue, arthritis, even sexual dysfunction. Companies sold ceramic bottles lined with radium ore. You'd fill them with water, let it sit overnight, and drink what they called liquid sunshine. People believed it worked. Athletes swore by it. The wealthy paid premium prices for it. Then doctors started noticing something horrifying. Patients' jaws were literally rotting off. Bones became brittle. Tumors appeared. Radium, it turned out, was lethally radioactive. By the 1940s, radium products were banned. The bottles vanished from shelves. What was once considered a health miracle became recognized as a death sentence. Violet ray machines. Here's another bizarre medical device: the violet ray machine. In the early 1900s, these electrical devices produced high-frequency currents that created a purple glow when held near the skin. Doctors claimed they could cure headaches, arthritis, hair loss, and even depression. Families owned them. They were as common as today's heating pads. The violet ray wand would crackle with electricity as you moved it over your body, supposedly stimulating blood flow and energizing tissues. Did it work? No, not at all. As real medical science advanced in the 1930s and 40s, violet ray machines were exposed as pseudoscience. They disappeared from homes and catalogs, replaced by actual medicine. Mechanical leech applicators. Before modern surgery, doctors used leeches to drain bad blood from patients. And yes, there were mechanical devices designed to apply leeches more efficiently. These brass and glass contraptions would suction leeches onto specific body parts, ensuring they latched on properly and drained the desired amount of blood. Hospitals stocked them. Surgeons relied on them. But as medical understanding advanced and actual surgical techniques improved, leech therapy was abandoned by the early 1900s. Interestingly, leeches have made a comeback in modern medicine, but for very specific uses like reattaching severed fingers, not for balancing humors. The elaborate mechanical applicators, though? Those are long gone. Transportation innovations. Now let's shift gears, literally, and talk about transportation inventions that promise to revolutionize how we move, then quietly disappeared. Pneumatic tube mail systems. Imagine sending a letter across an entire city in 15 minutes. No trucks, no waiting, just a tube, compressed air, and physics. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, major cities like New York, Paris,
London and Berlin built massive underground pneumatic tube networks. Letters and small packages were loaded into metal cylinders, then shot through tubes at speeds up to 35 miles per hour. In New York alone, the system had over 27 miles of tubes crisscrossing Manhattan. Mail that once took hours could arrive in minutes. Post offices depended on it. Businesses planned around it. It was faster than anything else available. But then, telephones became widespread. Cars and trucks improved. Highways expanded. And by the 1950s, pneumatic tubes were considered too expensive to maintain. Most systems were shut down and dismantled. Though a few still survive today, banks use them at drive-thrus, and some hospitals use them for transporting lab samples. But the grand vision of tube-powered cities? That vanished. Amphicars, the swimming car. Picture this. You're driving down the highway, and suddenly you see a lake. So you just drive straight into it. Your car becomes a boat. This was real. The Amphicar, produced in Germany from 1961 to 1968, was a car that could drive on roads and float on water. It had a propeller at the back and could reach 6 miles per hour on water. On land, it drove like a normal car. Well, a slow, awkward normal car. About 4,000 were made. Presidents owned them. They appeared in James Bond films. People loved the idea of them. But in practice, they were terrible at both. Slow on roads, clumsy in water, prone to leaks, expensive to maintain. By the late 60s, they stopped production. Today, Amphicars are collector's items, but the dream of mass-produced amphibious vehicles sank without a trace. Gyroscopic monorails. In the early 1900s, inventors believed the future of transportation was monorails balanced by gyroscopes. Unlike modern monorails that run on tracks, these used massive spinning gyroscopes to keep single-rail trains perfectly balanced, even around sharp curves. A full-scale prototype was built in Russia in 1913. It worked. It was faster and smoother than traditional trains. Cities around the world took notice. Then World War I started. Funding dried up, the inventor died, and the technology was forgotten. By the time the war ended, conventional rail systems had improved so much that gyroscopic monorails seemed unnecessary. The future everyone imagined never arrived. Household helpers. Let's step inside the home, where inventions promise to make daily life easier, cleaner, and more convenient. Iceboxes and the ice delivery industry. Before electric refrigerators, every home had an icebox, a wooden cabinet lined with metal with a compartment for a large block of ice. The ice delivery man would arrive several times a week, hauling 50-pound blocks of ice on his back with metal tongs, sliding them into your icebox to keep food cold. It worked. Families depended on it. Entire industries were built around harvesting, storing, and delivering ice. But in the 1920s and 30s, electric refrigerators became affordable. No more melting ice, no more weekly deliveries, no more puddles on the kitchen floor. By the 1950s, iceboxes were relics. The ice delivery man's truck stopped coming. An entire profession and the invention it supported simply melted away. Wringer washers. Doing laundry before automatic washing machines meant using a wringer washer, a tub with a hand-cranked roller on top. You'd wash clothes in the tub, then feed each piece through 2 rollers that squeezed out the water. It was exhausting. It took hours. And if you weren't careful, the rollers could catch your fingers. Injuries were so common that most wringer washers had emergency release levers. But in the 1950s, automatic washers with spin cycles arrived. No more hand cranking, no more injuries, no more hours spent feeding clothes through rollers. Wringer washers disappeared from homes almost overnight. Telegram systems. For over a century, the fastest way to send urgent news was a telegram. Births, deaths, emergencies, job offers, everything important arrived in a yellow envelope delivered by a messenger. Telegraph operators would type messages in Morse code, transmit them across continents, and another operator would decode and print them on the other end. Families dreaded telegrams during wartime. They often brought news of fallen soldiers. But they also brought joy, marriage proposals, business deals, reunions. Then telephones became affordable. Long-distance calls improved. By the 1960s, telegrams seemed slow and outdated. Western Union sent its last telegram in 2006. The yellow envelopes stopped arriving. An invention that once connected the world simply vanished. The wild and the weird, and now for the truly bizarre. Inventions so strange, it's hard to believe people actually used them. Baby cages. In the 1920s and 30s, urban parents faced a problem. Apartment living meant no backyards for children to play in. The solution? Hang your baby outside the window in a wire cage. Yes, this was real. These metal cages were mounted to apartment windows several stories above the ground, with babies placed inside to get fresh air and sunlight. Parenting guides recommended them. Photos show babies suspended high above city streets, secured only by a wire frame. Thankfully, as safety standards evolved and people realized this was insane, baby cages disappeared by the 1940s. Mechanical horses. Before cars became common, some inventors thought, what if we just made a mechanical horse? These bizarre contraptions had legs that moved in a galloping motion, powered by hand cranks or small engines. Riders would sit on top and ride down the street. They were slow, awkward, and ridiculous looking. Cars quickly proved far more practical. Mechanical horses vanished almost as soon as they appeared. A brief, strange footnote in transportation history. Dimple makers. In the early 1900s, dimples were considered the height of beauty. So someone invented a device to create them. The dimple maker was a metal clamp with two knobs that pressed into your cheeks. You'd wear it for hours, hoping to form permanent dimples. Spoiler, it didn't work, and it was painful. The dimple maker faded into obscurity, remembered only as one of beauty culture's stranger moments. The survivors. But not every vanished invention stayed gone. Some have made unexpected comebacks. Pneumatic tubes still whoosh samples through hospitals and cash through bank drive-thrus. Vinyl records, once replaced by CDs, then digital music, are now more popular than ever among audiophiles and collectors. Manual typewriters, once gathering dust in attics, are now prized by writers seeking distraction-free focus. And leech therapy. Modern medicine uses it for microsurgery and tissue reattachment. These survivors prove that even in a world obsessed with the new, there's still value in the old. Sometimes, what's forgotten isn't lost forever, just waiting for the right moment to return. So the next time you flip a light switch, use your smartphone, or step into an elevator, remember, someday, these too might vanish. Technology moves forward. Better inventions replace good ones, and what seems permanent today could be forgotten tomorrow. Which of these inventions surprised you most? And which one do you wish still existed? Let us know in the comments. Now, these inventions changed the world forever, but there are even more incredible stories. We are diving into accidental discoveries that changed the world forever. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on